So number 5 here, one that's certainly coming up more recently as we get closer to a COVID-19 vaccine, we are starting to have employers ask us, how are they allowed to ask employees or applicants about vaccination? Certainly, is that something that they are going to be able to make a requirement? And in the hiring process, is that something that you're allowed to ask a candidate, and can you require proof that they have been vaccinated?
Yeah, so it is a very good question, and it's very current, as you can imagine. I mean, last month we weren't even talking about vaccines, mind you, a few weeks ago. The answer to that, from my opinion right now, and it's strictly my opinion anymore at this point because it hasn't even been litigated yet, but the more I talk to the legal community and the more we research, the answer should be clear. No employer can require an employee to get vaccinated. If you don't like the fact that they're not vaccinated, that's absolutely your right as an employer. Then fire them. You don't have to have them around if you think they're a danger. Now, the type of lawyer I am, I'll say what is allowed and what's not allowed, and then maybe some creativity in there could help with making what's not allowed. I don't have suggestions to making what's not allowed as in forcing employees to be vaccinated, to vaccinate them. There's none of that. But my solution could help in terms of, or some solutions out there could be to avoid firing people who don't want to be vaccinated. And the solution to that could be potentially having separate wings, staggered shifts may work if you're going to clean after a group of people who have not been vaccinated versus a group who has been vaccinated. Letting some employees actually work from home or at a different location. But that's not always possible, restaurants can't have one location with all candidates or employees who are not vaccinated. That's where we put everyone who doesn't want to be vaccinated. I mean, they can do that, but then what are we doing with people who are actually coming, like patrons, people who are actually using the services of these restaurants, for example? That's now we still have the same issue. You can't actually have your restaurants available for people because your employees aren't vaccinated. So the answer to this is long, and it would be a few pages at least, even with this vagueness of where the law is. As it stands, the answer is clear, though. You cannot force people to get vaccinated. It would be against their rights for various reasons. And some groups of people may be getting vaccines faster than others. That also may be pushing certain employers into a corner where they may have to defend why they're allowing some people but not other people. So to be ultra safe, if you have a policy that says employees have to be vaccinated, then that is what you do for the safety of everyone else. And those who refuse to be vaccinated, you will have to make a decision what to do with them. One decision could be to terminate and pay them for it. And the other decision could be to isolate them in a sort of section in the workplace that would not allow them to stop working. That in itself has a lot of complications because someone who's a server, for example, or who works in the front of a store, all of a sudden we're telling them, well, you can't make the same amount of money or you can't make the same amount of tips, for example, because now you're going to have to work in the back. So it's certainly a tricky situation. I think more light will be shone on that with time. But yeah, I think my answer is as clear as I can make it right now, which is you cannot force your employees to be vaccinated.